Let me remind you that I pointed out that on the cross, Jesus administered to Satan a total, eternal, irrevocable defeat. Nothing can ever change that. So Satan cannot ever recover from that defeat, but Jesus has left it to the church to administer his victory. And so Satan's tactic is to keep the church from doing that by obscuring what happened on the cross. And the evil force that obscures the work of the cross is called in the Bible witchcraft. And the church today, in my opinion, is largely in the condition stated by Paul in Galatians 3:1, "O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you, before whose eyes Jesus Christ was clearly portrayed as crucified?" What has witchcraft done? Obscured Jesus crucified. Once the church loses the sight of what was accomplished on the cross, the church no longer can administer Jesus' victory over Satan. And then I described what witchcraft does. It's an illegitimate power that supports an illegitimate authority. It's a supplanter, a usurper. So God's ordained authority is set aside by man's rebellion, and another authority is set in its place, which is maintained by the supernatural power of witchcraft. And I outlined briefly to you certain results in the church, certain ways in which what God ordained to prevail has been set aside in favor of something that does not do the job. If I could use this language, and some of you won't understand it, but if I go on long enough, you'll get used to these words. The spiritual has been supplanted by the soulish. And the soulish is where witchcraft flourishes. So I'm going to just read this list again, because I believe it is very important to see. As a result of the work of witchcraft in the church and in the lives of individual Christians, the spiritual has been supplanted by the carnal. To use an Old Testament picture, Isaac has been supplanted by Ishmael. And only as I was preparing for these meetings did I realize that that's the exact truth about Islam. It's exactly what Islam has done. If you're not familiar with its teaching, it teaches that Abraham offered Ishmael and not Isaac, and that the descendants of Ishmael are the chosen inheritors. And I don't know whether you're familiar with Islam, the Mohammedan religion, but according to my observation, at the moment, it is the most powerful evil force opposing Christianity in the earth. And the aim of Islam is clearly stated. It's to take over the world for Islam. And they mean it. They're working at it. And they regard Britain as an easy prey. According to statistics, in the last 2 or 3 years, 15,000 Britons have converted to Islam. And it's now the largest active single religious movement in this country. Dear British people, it's time you woke up. Church of Jesus Christ, what have you been doing? Going on with witchcraft. Witchcraft has supplanted revelation by theology. Revelation is spiritual. Theology is soulish. It's intellectual. Witchcraft has supplanted discipling by education. Education just teaches people's minds. Discipling trains people's characters. To educate minds without training characters is to produce disaster. See? Paul said in Romans 8, the carnal mind is enmity against God. So if you just get people into religious atmosphere and educate their carnal minds, what you are educating is enemies of God. And the finished product will be educated enemies of God, which is what the majority of seminaries are producing worldwide today. You could name some names in Britain that are on the news continually who are pretty good representatives of the educated enemies of God. Witchcraft replaces discernment with psychology. It replaces supernatural direction, the leading of the Holy Spirit, by planned program. It replaces supernatural power by eloquence. It replaces the walk of faith by reasoning, and it replaces love by legalism.